Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. When it comes to deserts, there is much more to it than just vast amounts of sand. From discoveries of several new types of fossils to extremely bizarre finds, here are some materials captured in a desert that shocked the whole world. Long-necked Plesosaur fossil. A stunning discovery of a 100-million-year-old long-necked Plesosaur fossil was made by 3 junior paleontologists in Australia, led by Dr. Espen Knutson from the Queensland Museum Network. They found the complete skeleton of an ancient large long-necked marine reptile on a cattle station in the outback Queensland desert. This fossil is believed to hold the key to unlocking other evolutionary mysteries of the prehistoric past, dating to the early Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. Dr. Espen further commented that finding preserved Elasmosaurus head and body together is rare, as the fragments usually separate after death due to the long, slender neck of this animal. Dinosaur fossils. Although dinosaur fossils are known to be massive, it didn't stop this one from breaking the all-time high. In January 2021, experts, after putting together a number of bones that were found over the years, revealed this one to be the largest dinosaur to ever walk the Earth. The discovery of these bones was first made in 2012 by paleontologists in Argentina, and it wasn't until 2015 that they were identified to be the remains of a titanosaur. Titanosaur was a plant-eating dinosaur bigger than any other fossil of this titanosaur, with its neck pieced together, was over 120 feet long, making it the biggest among all dinosaurs and even its own species. Mammoth Graveyard. You may find remains of mammoths in Russia and parts of the United States, but what archaeologists found in Mexico was unbelievable. During an excavation, archaeologists found a prehistoric graveyard where bones of at least 200 mammoths were found near the construction site in Santa Lucia. This find is considered to be the world's largest treasure trove of ancient mammoth bones. Ruben Manzella, who is the leading archaeologist of the discovery, added that the cause of death for these mammoths is either due to them getting trapped in the muddy grounds or were hunted down by predators. Ancient crocodile mummy tomb. An amazing discovery was made by Spanish archaeologists in Egypt. They found fossils of ancient crocodiles that were mummified dating back 500 BC. Although the ancient belief of mummification was for preservation of its body is necessary for afterlife, the ancient Egyptians sacrificed these crocs during rituals to their god Sobek, the god of water and fertility. After the ritual sacrifice, these crocodiles were mummified. Since their level of knowledge of mummification was impressive, these fossils remain perfectly preserved, even after the passing of thousands of years. Why did they choose crocodiles to sacrifice? Well, it wasn't anything personal, just that their god Sobek had a human body, but a head like a crocodile. Bone Cave. While researchers were hoping to find a couple of bones of ancient animals, they found a cave full of them. In August 2021, scientists unearthed a cave full of bones, which was beautifully preserved in an underground desert cave in Saudi Arabia. The cave included bones of multiple different animals, including camels, cows, pigs, horses, goats, and even humans. Initially, archaeologists weren't able to explain the reason for the origin of these bones, until further excavation revealed remains of an extinct predator species called striped hyenas. These species were the apex predators of their time some 4,000 years ago, who went extinct. These hyenas would bring their prey to this cave before feasting. Horned kangaroo fossil. Recently, archaeologists were able to find skeletal remains of unknown animals during excavation in the Nola Arbor Desert of Australia. This animal was found to be quite similar to that of a kangaroo, but it had horn-like protrusions from its head. Hence, it was nicknamed horned kangaroo. At first, scientists believed that this horn-like bone was used for defensive purposes until detailed examination, which proved that these animals were actually meant to shield the animal's eyes from attacks. With the discovery of this new animal species, experts are still studying the nature of this species. Mutilated animal remains. In September 2018, a local resident passing through the desert of Arizona made a bizarre discovery of mutilated animal remains that were dumped off the road in the middle of nowhere. The remains were that of pet and livestock animals who had their heads, legs, and torso ripped off. Upon the findings getting mainstream attention, many considered it to be the case of predatory attacks, but was ruled out when veterinarians closely examined the remains and revealed that they were signs of torture. Although local police and the Department of Agriculture are aware of these dumpings, they still haven't been able to find the culprit, despite an investigation into the matter. Older than ancient Egyptians. While you may think that the Egyptian mummies are one of the oldest people who used to live, the reality differs. In the city of Arica, an entire graveyard was found filled with a type of mummies older than any found in what is now known as northern Chile. These mummies are believed to be the mummified remains of individuals from the South American Chinchorro culture. They are called Chinchorro mummies. Chinchorro people preserved the mummies with fibers and sticks to keep the body intact and would use reeds to sew the skin on. These mummies are the oldest examples of mummified human remains, having been buried up to 2,000 years before the Egyptian mummies. Whale Valley. Now, this isn't another one of your boring ancient sites. This one packs a punch of the amazing evolutionary stage of whales. Located 100 kilometers southwest of Cairo, Whale Valley, also referred to as Wadi al-Hatan, is an ancient site that contains invaluable fossil remains of an earlier but now extinct species of whales. The whale fossils discovered here had a pair of feet which were quite small as compared to their body size. These whales were ocean-going mammals, but could come ashore like any other land-based animals, such as a crocodile. With these remains 14 million years old, how could they have remained preserved? Archaeologists believe that the dry nature of the area is the primary cause of preservation for this long. Atacama Desert Fossils. Like the Whale Valley, a lot of prehistoric fossils were discovered in the Atacama Desert of Chile. From vertebrates, beached ancient whale fossils, to the jaw of a giant megalodon shark were unearthed here. A renowned paleontologist, Pablo Quildoren, added these discoveries will help them better understand the natural evolutionary natures of vertebrates and the lineage of other marine animals that lived about 8 million years ago before going extinct. With discoveries made from all over the area, more than 2,500 hectares of Atacama Desert marked as a protected site, a place of discovery and uncovering of secrets. Desert of the Skeletons. In the east of Namibia is a place where the sea and the desert meet. This coast has been feared for centuries due to its toughness and extreme weather. Since the weather here is so harsh, only the best adapted and strongest can survive, and its visitors can find animals, calcined bones, and skins all along the desert. The hardness of that coast was seen in the skeletons of dead animals scattered throughout its sands, which have been bleached by the sun. This area, which has been the subject of numerous tragedies, is appropriately referred to as the Skeleton Coast. Buried Golden City. While searching for the mortuary temple of King Tutankhamun, archaeologists came across an unexpected discovery of a lost ancient golden city located on the west bank of the River Nile. The remains of the city included neighborhoods, homes with walls nearly 3 meters high. Within the walls, a bakery, kitchen, areas for making saddles, clothing, and graves of people who may have lived here. This discovery gave exposure to the daily lives of ancient Egyptians. The city was named for its establishment in the Golden Age of Egypt in 1391 BC, since no one believed that a city could exist here until after 3,400 years. It is believed to be the largest ever found in Egypt. Ancient Lost Army. 2,500 years ago, a Persian army of 50,000 soldiers of the king Cambyses II, while marching to Siwa, vanished without a trace in 525 BC. It wasn't until 2009 when it was discovered after 13 years of research and 5 expeditions. 2 Italian archaeologists, after studying maps for years, discovered a never-explored route of water deposits towards the north through the desert to reach Siwa. The harsh desert conditions left them weary until the hot and strong southeasterly wind made it worse by causing a sandstorm. The sandstorm dispersed the army into various directions, with most under natural shelters where several Cambyses-era items were found, bone artifacts and personal belongings, not to mention blades, arrowheads, horse bit, and a mass grave. A dinosaur tail found. With dinosaurs dominating the Earth before human existence, their discoveries may never cease from occurring. Construction workers discovered bones of a huge animal tail in a North Mexican desert. It was covered under a sedimentary rock and was later identified to be a dinosaur's tail. Archaeologists, upon further excavating the site, found a 5-meter-long tail with 50 vertebrae that was unusually well preserved and carbon dated to over 72 million years old. After thorough study, the tail was found to belong to a hadrosaur, or duck-billed dinosaur. The discovery could aid research on diseases which afflicted the giant creatures. Buried movie site. This movie site set the precedent for today's blockbuster films. 100 years ago, Cecil B. DeMille was a legendary director who oversighted gigantic movie sets that was built depicting the ancient Egyptian era. The set stood 12 stories tall, 220 meters wide, and lined with 21 sphinxes. Filming began in 1923 for the original silent version of the Ten Commandments. He decided to bury the set as the filming ended. Until date, no one knows why. Several theories are considered, from not having adequate funds to not wanting anyone else to reuse his set or produce anything similar for a small budget. After several decades of it being dormant, excavation started. Till date is one of the largest movie sets ever built. 3,000-year-old cemetery. The fact that in 1,000 years the dust from the bones usually erodes, it is incredible how these were still intact. In November 2021, scientists from the Archaeology Department of Hazara University in Chitral, Pakistan, made a discovery of a 3,000-year-old burial. Graves revealing both single and multiple burials were unearthed, with carbon dating and other artifacts like stone beads, copper iron earrings, bangles, nails, arrowheads, and terracotta vessels that were found. It is believed that these bones belong to the Iron Age, which was a period in human history between 1200 BC and 600 BC. The bones are undergoing DNA tests to relate the connection between the ancient time and the current population of Chitral. Some of them were found with traces of ashes and charcoal. Ice Age Bison Skull. Aside from humans, it's sometimes the weather that leads to some of the most fascinating discoveries. A paleontologist who was excavating the area in search of ancient animals unearthed an Ice Age-era bison skull in the Mojave Desert, California. Due to a brief rainfall followed by a tornado, the sudden seasonal effect facilitated the discovery. Due to the massive evolutionary change in size of the bison skull, it took a while for the experts to identify. Although the desert may have weather conditions, it is believed that during the Ice Age, bison and other beasts used to roam in this region. New carnivorous species unveiled. Scientists were able to find a dinosaur species which is believed to be the largest carnivorous dinosaur to have ever existed. Paleontologists have called it Meraxes gigas, a name given after a fictional dragon from Game of Thrones. This dinosaur belongs to a group of dinosaurs called Carcharodontosaurus. May look similar in build and features to that of a Trex, but is unrelated. Although the discovery of this prehistoric predator was made 11 years ago in northern Patagonia, it took a decade worth of excavation to completely gather everything from the whole arm down to the smallest toes. The find spreads light of how these huge predators evolved and to study its lineage. Another new dino species. Workers from the Suncor Mining Company, while digging in March 2011 to look for raw materials, stumbled upon something that was revealed to be a fossil. Archaeologists from the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Alberta, Canada, who upon initial examination revealed it to be a Bora lapelta dinosaur. It took over 6 years for the scientists to join together the parts and unveiled its final form, revealing it to be an 18-foot-long nodosaur, a type of armored dinosaur. This Bora lapelta was unlike of its kind, having a heavy armored top with massive shoulder spikes and a long tail, weighing up to 3,000 pounds. Egg fossils. Scientists from India discovered several sites in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, where they unearthed some of Asia's oldest dinosaur egg fossils. According to the Forest Department, they have discovered at least 300 egg fossils from 30 different nesting sites. Although most of the eggs are believed to be of a titanosaur dinosaurs, they are also found 3 different varieties having diameter ranging from 6 centimeters to 21 centimeters. Experts believe that the eggs belong to a few other types of herbivorous and carnivorous dinosaurs. The discovery grabbed the attention of many paleontologists in that region, and it is being considered to be a rich eco-heritage site. More dinosaur fossils. 2 sets of dinosaur fossils were discovered by road maintenance workers while mapping new roadways in southwest China's province of Yunnan. These fossils are believed to be at least 180 million years old. One of these sets is believed to be of Longophosaurus magnus, and the other belongs to an Allosaurus, found 500 meters away from the initial discovery. However, some parts of these fossils were missing, but were sent to the paleontology lab for further studies. With complete hind legs, these fossils were found to be 5.3 meters long, whereas the actual length of these dinosaurs is believed to be 9 meters. Shrine discovered in the desert. In March 2022, archaeologists discovered a 9,000-year-old shrine near the Neolithic campsite in Jordan's eastern desert. They found 2 enormous standing stones carved in the form of humanoid figures. Additionally, the altar of the shrine was adorned with marine shells. Archaeologists are amazed seeing how well the site is preserved, considering that it was built thousands of years ago. Experts believe that the sacred site was built for hunters and gatherers in the area to perform rituals and pray for a successful hunt, as it is close to a hunting area. Vampire skeletons. During an expedition in 2012, a very interesting type of skeleton were found in Bulgaria. The leading archaeologist commented that these 2 vampire skeletons were discovered with their rib cage pinned to the ground by a nail, and his left leg had also been removed to keep it from rising if it came back to life. This was done as a precautionary measure since there was a widespread belief in many Eastern European communities that the existence of vampires was a real threat. The National Museum of History in Sofia has put these skeletons on display. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This picture was taken in September 2016 by passerby in the middle of the Dunas de Bilbo Desert in Mexico. According to them, it had an appearance similar to that of a crocodile and a snake put together. Due to the intense heat of the desert daylight, the carcass was in a bad state of decomposition, making it even more unidentifiable, and not to mention terrifying. As the video got viral, both wildlife experts and archaeologists arrived on the site to examine the nature of this creature, but the decomposition reached a level that it has gotten hard for even them to recognize its nature. Many believe that this could be some type of humanoid fish, or maybe an alien creature, or a case of an undiscovered prehistoric animal that may have surfaced after a millennia. If you happen to know what this creature might be, please do share with us down in the comments. World War II plane wreckage. Wreckage of a World War II era fighter plane was found by a Polish oil exploration team, buried in the sands of the Sahara Desert. Days after the plane was removed from the sand, it was identified to be the P-40 Kitty Hawk warplane of the British Royal Air Force. The plane, which belonged to Flight Sergeant Dennis Copping, was still intact after decades of being buried under sand, and even the weapons and ammunition on board were found to still be functional. Judging from the wreckage, it is believed that the pilot was returning back to the base for repairs when the plane crash-landed here. However, the fact that parachute remnants that were found suggest that the pilot survived but was never seen. Maybe the pilot had enough of the war and decided to take an early retirement. Deadly oasis in the Sahara Desert. An oasis such as this in the middle of the desert is certainly not the kind that you think you may have found. Located in the southwestern Libya, this oasis has water which is so salty that the level of salt is poisonous for a human being. Due to non-stop evaporation, the minerals in the water tend to get more and more concentrated. Birds that migrate in from Nigeria to Europe rehydrate and refuel by eating these insects, since these insects have an ability to purify the water naturally. The water of this oasis is almost 5 times saltier than the sea. Well, that's all guys for today. Thank you for watching the video, and if you guys found it interesting, I would much appreciate it if you comment down below about the video and leave the thumbs up. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.